For decades, Germany's car industry, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, stood as a global symbol of engineering and luxury. But today, in late 2025, that dominance is under threat. The challenge isn't from Japan or the US, but from China, whose automakers now produce affordable, tech-savvy, and stylish vehicles. Chinese brands are rapidly gaining ground in Europe, signaling a seismic shift in the global auto landscape. German carmakers face a perfect storm, a tough transition to electric vehicles, a global slowdown, and a shrinking share in China. Now Chinese companies are eyeing German factories, aiming to build cars on German soil and claim the Made in Germany label for themselves. The golden era of German automotive supremacy is at a crossroads. Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz have long defined automotive excellence, each with a unique and storied legacy. Volkswagen made cars for the masses, BMW delivered driving pleasure, and Mercedes set the standard for luxury and innovation. These brands shaped not just Germany's economy but global perceptions of quality and engineering. Yet their strengths, mastery of combustion engines, incremental innovation, are now liabilities. The industry is shifting to electric power, software, and AI, where Chinese companies excel. German giants with their complex structures and cautious cultures are struggling to adapt. The very qualities that made them leaders in the 20th century now threaten their relevance. The legacy is under siege from a new, faster-moving paradigm. The Chinese challenge is no longer theoretical, it's happening now, reshaping the global automotive landscape in real time. What was once a distant possibility has become a pressing reality for Europe's most storied car makers. Volkswagen, a symbol of German engineering, is in advanced talks to sell 2 of its German plants to Chery, one of China's fastest-growing automakers. This isn't just a business deal, it's a sign of shifting power in the industry. If the deal goes through, Chery would gain the ability to build cars right in the heart of Germany, sidestepping EU tariffs and tapping into the country's deep well of automotive expertise. It's a strategic move that could change the rules of the game. For the first time, a Chinese company could produce vehicles bearing the prestigious Made in Germany label, long a mark of quality and innovation. This would be a milestone, signaling a new level of ambition and credibility for Chinese brands. While BMW and Mercedes-Benz aren't selling their factories, they can't ignore the winds of change. The rapid pace of innovation and competition is forcing even the most established players to rethink their strategies and adapt quickly. Volkswagen's ongoing restructuring is a clear sign of its vulnerability during the electric vehicle transition. The company is racing to keep up with new technologies and shifting consumer demands, all while facing mounting pressure from agile competitors. If this landmark deal is finalized, it will send a bold message. Chinese brands are no longer content to compete only on price. They're ready to challenge German automakers on their own turf, aiming for excellence in quality, design, and brand image. The global automotive hierarchy is being redrawn before our eyes, as new players rise and old giants are forced to defend their legacy. The competition is now direct, local, and fiercer than ever. The next chapter of the auto industry will be written not just in boardrooms, but on factory floors across Europe and China. German automakers face a daunting transition from combustion engines to electric vehicles, a shift that's expensive and complex. Their traditional strengths in mechanical engineering are less relevant in a world driven by batteries and software. Meanwhile, they're losing ground in China, where local brands offer better tech and digital experiences at lower prices. German brands have lagged in software, connectivity, and user experience, areas where Chinese rivals excel. Companies like Xiaomi treat cars as smart devices, updating features over the air and integrating AI seamlessly. German development cycles are slow and risk-averse, while Chinese firms innovate rapidly and adapt to consumer feedback. The old model of perfectionist incremental improvement is now a disadvantage. To survive, German giants must reinvent themselves for a digital, fast-moving market. Chinese car brands aren't just winning on price. They're winning on technology, design, and speed. They've invested heavily in battery tech, offering EVs with long range and fast charging at competitive prices. Their cars feature huge touchscreens, advanced voice controls, and seamless connectivity, appealing to a digital-first generation. Models like the Xiaomi SU7 integrate with smart devices, turning cars into personalized, connected spaces. Chinese brands now boast sleek designs and premium interiors, often crafted by top European designers. They launch new models and updates at a pace traditional automakers can't match. By being fast, smart, and affordable, Chinese brands have redefined what makes a car desirable. The result? A powerful challenge to the old guard. Chinese automakers aren't just exporting cars, they're orchestrating a bold, multi-layered strategy to become a dominant force in Europe's automotive landscape. Instead of simply shipping vehicles overseas, they're embedding themselves in Europe, forging deep partnerships, and investing directly in local economies. By acquiring German factories, Chinese companies can sidestep EU tariffs, but more importantly, they gain the prestigious Made in Germany badge, a shortcut to instant credibility and a powerful marketing tool. This approach helps overcome lingering doubts about Chinese quality, reassuring European consumers and building trust in a market that values heritage and reliability. It's all part of a broader push. Chinese automakers are not just entering Europe, they're aiming to reshape the competitive landscape. BYD, for example, is building massive factories in Hungary and Turkey, signaling long-term commitment and creating thousands of local jobs. Meanwhile, Leapmotor is partnering with Stellantis in Poland, blending Chinese innovation with European manufacturing expertise. But for many, Germany remains the ultimate prize. Cracking this market means earning global validation and respect. Success in Germany isn't just about sales, it's about proving that Chinese brands can compete at the highest level, on the world's most prestigious automotive stage. Local production also allows Chinese brands to adapt quickly to European tastes, safety standards, and strict environmental regulations, making their cars more appealing and compliant. Building cars in Europe creates valuable jobs, strengthens ties with local communities, and demonstrates a real commitment to the region. It also builds local supply chains and fosters a collaborative image, blending European presence with Chinese innovation. The goal is clear: to be seen as European in presence, but Chinese in technological edge. This unique blend of speed, advanced technology, and German credibility is proving to be a potent formula for success. As a result, Chinese brands are positioning themselves not just as outsiders, but as local players with truly global ambitions, ready to shape the future of Europe's roads. The idea of Chinese ownership of German factories has sparked deep concern, not just among workers, but across the entire nation. For many, these factories are more than just places of employment. They are symbols of German engineering, pride, and decades of hard work. Workers fear job cuts and the erosion of hard-won labor standards. There's anxiety about whether new management will honor existing agreements, or if cost-cutting will come at the expense of job security and fair wages. The uncertainty is palpable, fueling tension on the factory floor. Politically, Germany faces a dilemma. Should it welcome foreign investment to save jobs and keep factories running, or should it limit Chinese influence to protect national interests and maintain control over strategic industries? The debate is fierce, with politicians, unions, and business leaders all weighing in. There are also growing worries about technology transfer. As Chinese companies gain access to German know-how, some fear that Germany could lose its competitive edge, becoming increasingly dependent on a strategic rival for both innovation and economic stability. The future is uncertain. German factories could soon be building cars for Chinese brands, sometimes even competing directly with their own legacy models. This shift could redefine what it means to be a German automaker, blurring the lines between tradition and transformation. For German automakers, survival now means embracing radical change. They must innovate faster, develop digital expertise, and take risks that would have seemed unthinkable just a decade ago. The pressure to adapt is immense, but so is the opportunity to lead in a new era of mobility. Partnerships between German and Chinese firms may soon become the norm, as both sides look for ways to combine strengths and navigate a rapidly changing global market. These alliances could shape the future of the entire industry. The fate of German auto workers now depends on whether new owners respect local standards and traditions, and on the ability of German brands to reinvent themselves without losing their identity. The stakes have never been higher for workers and companies alike. The era of easy dominance is over. German automakers can no longer rely on past successes. They must fight for relevance in a world where competition is fiercer than ever. The fight for the future of Germany's car industry has just begun, and its outcome will shape not only the fate of workers and companies, but the very identity of German industry for generations to come.